What was your thoughts during the tournament, since the only time I've been fortunate to have a chance to chat with you, where Tom Izzo was on the griddle a little bit for the way he was coaching Aaron Henry? What were your thoughts when you saw that and the conversation that surrounded it?
I think, and you've been around this stuff and in this business, a lot of times people interpret things totally different from what the two parties who are involved interpreted. From a perception standpoint, sometimes the things that I've done have not been things that people were capable of defining what I was doing. And you got to understand one thing, too. People refer to players, Rich, as you know, they refer to players as if we're talking about kids. These players are not going to let you do but so much to them in most instances that they have not permitted you to do based on knowing what you're doing. Tom Izzo is a hell of a coach. Tom Izzo has had respect to the players that he has. But when you see that out of the context of your knowledge of what's going on, you tend to look at it and say, oh, isn't that terrible? Isn't that terrible? But there's so many things that are not able to be translated and interpreted with it, for the outside eye when you're coaching. That's why coaches sometimes have closed practices. You've been around this stuff. Mm-hmm. What goes on in practice sometimes that I did, I wouldn't want anybody to see.
Yeah, I had Izzo on the show. It's exactly what he said. I mean, almost word for word there. Who was the player that you needed to, or you realized needed the hardest coaching, the toughest love in order to bring their game to the fore, Coach?
Well, I can't think of one particular player, but I do know that you have to make an assessment of those who can deal with various aspects of your emotions, because the objective is to get him to perform and to get him to realize his abilities. You don't treat everybody. Worst thing in the world is when I hear a dumb coach talk, he says, I treat everybody the same way. In life, we don't treat. In administration, in corporate America, you don't treat everybody the same way. So there were some players that I felt that I could be firmer with. There's some players that I felt that I couldn't be firm, but I also knew my limitations in regards to all of those things. There's some kids you just crush if you're very strong and verbal with, but you know that as a coach. I mean, you know that you could get on this guy stronger than you can the other guy. But as far as going too far, what's too far, and the player is not going to permit you. These aren't little sixth-grade kids. These guys are grown men. They're not going to let you go but so far with them.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.